This is your host, J4, of the YouTube channel All Alone by Myself. We're going to British Columbia. It's trophy hunting time for mule deer, black bear, and mountain lion. Hold on to your hats. Now showing the Booning Crockett mule deer. With my guide, we walked up the backside of a mountain that I called the Lamaze Mountain because I was huffing and puffing the whole time. And on the backside was a series of rolling benches. We worked our way down, and it was about 10:30, and we took off our backpacks, sat down, and we were eating some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and up behind me came this bruiser with 4 other bucks, and the guide said, "Look behind you, grab your gun." And they took off, and just as he was about to clear the first bench, I shot him. You can begin to see just how much of a bruiser this one really is. He's massive. Needless to say, things got a little bit crazy that night. I mean, look at him. He's a 195 class Booning Crockett. I was so excited. I'll never forget that shot. I lowered my gun from my backpack, took a deep breath, and just before he cleared, I pulled the trigger and
boom, he shot me. Yeah. I've heard that 1,000 times. Let me tell you what really happened. He shot me, he cut off my head, and he stuck me on the damn wall. And everybody looks at me. Of course, I can't blame them. I'm a Booning Crockett 195 class mule deer from British Columbia, and everybody's jealous.
Up next, my Pope and Young black bear. The next day we started trophy bear hunting, and I grabbed my bow. And we saw this bruiser walking across a valley, and we were able to set up about a half mile in front of him, and we waited. And he started coming to us, and I drew back my bow about 35 yards away, and I let that arrow fly, and a double lung shot. I was so happy. You know, everybody tries to tell you their black bear was really big, and they just call it ground shrinkage because they kind of look smaller on the ground, but I don't have to say that about this one. And I don't have to tell you, things got a little crazy the next night too.
Well, let me tell you my side of the story. You see, I saw them in the valley, but I lost track of them. I was hungry. I was really hungry. And I smelled a female nearby, so I was getting excited. So I wasn't paying attention. Sure enough, next thing I know, that arrow goes right through me. I dropped down really quick. I'm just really proud to say that was a clean shot, and I felt no pain.
And finally, my Pope and Young mountain lion. The next day, it started snowing, and we had to hang out at the lodge for a couple days, and got to about 2.5, 3 feet of snow, and then we were able to start driving around again, and we spotted this mountain lion. As soon as that mountain lion saw us, he started running, and we lost track of him, and thank goodness we could follow his tracks in the snow. And along the way, the guide kept going, "Are you sure you want to go through this? It could be another mile or two, and it's 2.5, 3 feet of snow." And I went, "There's nothing stopping me from getting this Pope and Young." We finally caught up to him in this big old dead tree, and he wasn't very happy. He was growling and fidgety, and the guide said, "I told you to bring a gun. We can't get that close." And I went, "There's nothing stopping me." And I started getting closer, and next thing I know, he leaps out of the tree into the air. Just in time, I pulled my bow back and shot, and it was another double lung shot. He rolled right there on the ground, dead. Well, I thought it was a double lung shot, but you can see I shot him on his right side there, on his lower part of his lung, and it went right through his lung, his heart, and his other lung, and it arrow wedged in his left forearm. I tried to lift him as high as I could to get him off the ground, but he was just too big and too long. When we got back to camp, we were finally able to measure his head, and we confirmed he was a nice, mature Pope and Young mountain lion.
Now wait just a dadgum minute, I'm pissed. It's true. I ran for miles and miles, and I finally climbed up in this big old tree, thought I lost him, and I was looking for him, and, well, they snuck up on me, and when I saw him, I went, man, I am so pissed. I'm going to eat him. So I crouched down, and I jumped out of that tree, and next thing you know, schwack-bow! That arrow went right through me, and I rolled up dead in the ground, covered in snow. The next thing I know, I'm a full body mount in his living room, and like that mule deer, everybody's looking at me. Of course, I don't blame them. I'm a Pope and Young mountain lion from British Columbia.
Now, wasn't that awesome? A Booning Crockett mule deer, a Popin young black bear, and a Popin young mountain lion, all in British Columbia. Stay tuned for our next adventures of All Alone by Myself.